Three Sides of Anna, in association with Nivea Petroleum Jelly.
Welcome to the new member of our Nivea family. New Nivea Petroleum Jelly Essence. Care in every touch.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
With Lipa na M-Pesa, you get more, and now you can win.
Kwa majina naitwa Salma Salim, natoka Mombasa County, na mimi ndio mshindi wa nyumba ya Lipa na M-Pesa. Nilikuwa nimelala, nikasikia simu nalia, nikapokea. I was so excited. At the moment, option ya kwanza itakuwa kuirent. Wakenya wote wazidi kushiriki, wataweza kushinda vitu vingi kutoka kwa Safaricom.
Lipa na M-Pesa and win now. Do more with Lipa na M-Pesa.
Kwani unaenda wapi? Kubai mkate. Utatununulia sweet. Sawa.
Nani amekuzia mkate?
Ni Kenyash.
Umetoa wapi sweet?
Amenipea.
Hebu tuende kwake saa hii.
Ni kama amefunga.
Ati ni kama amefunga. Tuende tukafungue hiyo duka yake. Kenyash, nini mkate gani unauzia mtoto wangu?
Zema chiti yako inakuwa
gani? Hapana, unajua na kujanga hapa na nunua selector. Si unajua hivyo? Na unajifanya hapa mpaka unampatia maswiti.
Huyu mtoto wako amekuja hapa kwa duka, akaniambia nimpatie mkate ya 48 bob. Tu bob za juu nimpatie sweet. Ningefanya nini?
Umenunua sweet hapa?
Selector, more slices na bei ni ile ile.
Taking pride in constructing tomorrow's skylines. Adding strength to Kenya's landmarks. Presenting the power for specialized constructions. Cementing the nation's future. Simba Cement, the strength and pride of Kenya.
Now also produced in Nakuru and Mombasa.
Rashes again? Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
Mavuno Fertilizers, a soil and crop-specific fertilizer in Kenya, helps improve food security by improving crop yields through application of scientifically researched, nutrition-based fertilizers. More than 500,000 farmers in Kenya can have easy access at affordable packs of 1 kg to 50 kg across major agro-dealers. Farmers who have used Mavuno Fertilizers have realized 30% more yield. Please feed your crop and soil with the best fertilizers for future prosperity. Call us today and learn how Mavuno Fertilizers is helping in increasing food production in Africa.
Drive towards growth with Gulf African Bank and Isuzu. Get 95% Sharia-compliant financing with a bundled working capital of 300,000 shillings. SMS Isuzu to 21981 to get started. For more information, call us on 0711 075 000 or visit us at any of our branches countrywide. Gulf African Bank. We see a better today.
Get an 8-acre prime residential plot in Kisamis along Magadi Road, a few minutes from the vibrant Kiserian town. 150,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 175,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Pay 30% deposit and clear the balance in 4 months. Join us for a site visit on 29 February 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for more information. Soil merchants, buy today, build tomorrow.
Life is a journey of faith. How you finish depends on how well you prepare for it. I started mine 16 years ago. From childhood, I always believed I can be anything I set my mind to be. But I came to realize each and every aspect of our lives, mine included, has an Isuzu effect behind it. It has always been my that leg. It's reliable, stable, and faithful. My dream is to make Kenya an Isuzu nation.
Welcome to Good Life, where we are all about you. And when we say you, we mean all of you, including the little ones. We're all about ensuring you feel better and healthier, so you enjoy every moment with the ones closest to you. A smile on your face is what we're about. That's why you'll always be welcome back to Good Life pharmacies across Kenya with the same smile on every visit. Good Life. We're all about you.
Welcome home to Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Your own urban sanctuary. A lifestyle waiting for you just 20 kilometers from the CBD. A place to unwind and get your health and fitness goals attained. A secure place for your family. A place for your children to have fun. A place to enjoy a sundowner. Success just doesn't happen. You have to make it happen. Make the impossible possible. Invest in Amani Ridge, the place of peace. Luxury you can afford. Call us today on 0723 400 500 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Beba. 50-50. Oya kaenda buda.
Kisha hapo mbele na unipe change.
Sawa. Fanya hivi, nipatie so, alafu nikupatie 80, alafu huyu dem atakupatia 30, alafu ule mzee akinipatia robe yangu na kupatia so, alafu huyu dem bado ako na so yangu, akinipatia na kupatia 80 au unanirudishia 50 bwana. Simple. Sawa.
If only all things in life were as simple as 2 bob per minute to any network. Enjoy the best voice rate in Kenya. No bundle, no expiry, no minimum top-up. Now that's simple. Switch to Airtel, the smartphone network.
This is NTV.
That a civilian with a tainted background, a man of boisterous behavior, walked into a top office in the land to cut a stinking military arms deal without regard for the law and procedure epitomizes how our systems are littered with deceit and decadence. One in which anything goes and moral values are things we only read about in books.
A state of anarchy, where quick riches from thievery of public resources is exalted, where snapping up a human life seems easier than safeguarding it, a system where your own name betrays you, a system where the dictates of the law are sacrificed with reckless abandon for personal and political expediency. But we, the people, who should be demanding better, simply accept, move on, create memes, and laugh about it.
Tonight on Team Coverage Wednesday, we focus on a seemingly broken system. We ask, just where are our manners? And where is the moral custodian in society, the church, in all of this? Hello and welcome to NTV Tonight, this 26th day of February 2020. Also coming up in the next 60 minutes.
Tonight, it gets worse for the embattled governor. Corruption case against Sonko to proceed as debate over surrender lingers.
To deliver does not mean you deny 10% of the residents of Kenya.
Cannot afford this paralysis to continue, and that is why we're going to work together.
And names behind the faces. Influential people who paved the way for the SGR gravy train. More details of a contract no one in government wants to talk about.
Plus, reckless plunder, selfish gain. A country on the brink of anarchy.
Basically serious cartels. And it does control, the various arms of the states.
Sasa walikuja mpaka kanisani wakaanza kurusha hiyo mamawe huku.
Unataka nifanye nini jameni?
On team coverage, we break down the broken system.
Also tonight, death toll rising daily. The world is on red alert. But plane from virus hit China lands in Kenya.
Live from the Nation Centre, this is NTV Tonight with Smriti, Vidyarthi and Mark Masai.
Thank you for joining us on NTV Tonight. Our sign language interpreter is David Agondo, and tonight we put our focus on what we are calling the broken system. Now, before we point fingers at those charged with various governance and moral responsibilities, have we searched our souls to determine just how much we contribute to the moral decay we complain about?
Let's bring out the team tonight. Our features editor, Brenda Wanga, Silas Apollo and Zainab Ismail are live from here in the capital. Lois Wangoi joins us from Eldoret and Oko Okusa from Kisumu City. Also live with us tonight is Richard Takim. He is an author and apostolic leader at the Cry of the Spirit Ministries. He'll be speaking to NTV's Ken Majungu in reaction to today's topic and the role of the church in safeguarding moral behavior.
Now, team coverage in a bit, but first we start in the capital. The corruption case involving embattled Governor Mike Sonko and 16 other accused persons will continue at the Anti-Corruption Court.
Well, this is despite Tuesday's unprecedented decision to transfer the governance of the county to the national government. The move has provoked reaction from various quarters, such as the Senate and the Nairobi County Assembly.
Setolade reports.
Lion statues that had been placed at the main entrance of Governor Mike Sonko's office at City Hall were removed in what is a symbolic exit of the embattled county boss from power. Just a short distance from City Hall Way, Sonko lost his bid to have his 357 million shillings corruption case thrown out by the Anti-Corruption Court in Milimani. In his ruling, Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti stated that Sonko, together with 16 other accused persons, have a case to answer, scheduling the pre-trial to commence next month. Still at the Milimani Law Courts, activists Okia Omtata, Robin Karani and Mutemi Kiama separately sued Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko, Nairobi County Government and the Attorney General for entering into a deal between State House and the Nairobi County Government for the transfer of key functions from the devolved unit to the national government. The trio argued that there was no public participation by Nairobi residents who elected their governor. At Parliament buildings, senators sharply deferred on Tuesday's deal signed at State House.
2 consecutive governors or administrations have failed. To deliver does not mean you deny 10% of the residents of Kenya. Because Kenya is 47 million, Nairobi is 4.7 million. That 10% of Kenya is denied devolution. We can get it right third time around.
Would you keep quiet and say, let Nairobi ban? That's another choice. So I think in these circumstances, anybody who is acting rationally had to look for a manner or a way of dealing with the problems in Nairobi so that people can get services.
Members of the Nairobi County Assembly also shared their opinion.
I believe it was done within the law, even though we say that we were not consulted, but we cannot question the responsibility of the president, which is actually anchored in law.
Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa, who will spearhead the changes in the capital, has clarified how the implementation will be effected.
We cannot afford this paralysis to continue, and that is why we're going to work together. So our team as national government will be working closely with the county team. Beginning this morning, they are already working together, PSS, the county secretary and their team.
The Council of Governors is proposing the formation of a multi-agency committee comprising both levels of government to monitor implementation of the functions that have been transferred to the national government and those that remain with the Nairobi County government. The office of the governor for Nairobi County remains a crime scene until such time when investigations will be complete or charges are dropped against the county boss by the Director of Public Prosecution. Seth Olale, NTV, City Hallway, Nairobi County.
Well, from that to another explosive story, and if you recall last night we reported how exorbitant sums of your money was used to pay for goods and services for the standard gauge railway project.
We named the 7 Kenyans who signed what is possibly Kenya's most expensive contract to date that would bind the country to debt for decades.
Tonight, we look into who was spinning the wheels from behind the scenes and who might have stood to gain from the contract.
On the 26th day of June 2012, China Road and Bridge Company wrote to the then managing director of the Kenya Railways Corporation, Nduva Muli, noting that the projected cost of 220 billion 991,502,221 shillings would be payable in US dollars. This funding would be via a loan from the Chinese government to Kenya. The CRBC manager apparently assured Kenya Railways management that the company had taken steps to ensure that no person acting for or on behalf of the company had or would engage in improper practices.
Any loan agreements between China and Kenya are in line with common international best practice.
This was a month before the then MD Kenya Railways Nduva Muli signed the award of the project to the Chinese company. It would become Kenya's most ambitious and expensive transport project that began as a dream to connect East Africa. A year later, in 2013, Muli was appointed as a principal secretary in the Transport Ministry, but was in 2015 interrogated by the Anti-Corruption Commission over allegations of irregularly disposing Kenya Railways assets. However, 6 years earlier, before Muli signed any papers, the NAC government was contemplating an ambitious plan to upgrade the meter gauge railway, the Lunatic Express, that was built by the colonial government in 1891. By the end of 2006, Solomon Ouna, a railways engineer, was recalled from retirement to spearhead a feasibility study and possibly lead the railway project. At the time, Rift Valley Railways had proposed a 2.5-year operation of railway transport between Kenya and Uganda, but failed to attain the 2.4 billion shilling equity needed to seal the deal. 3 years after this deal fell through in 2009, Chirau Ali Makwere, the transport minister at the time, signed an MOU that would enable engineer Ouna and his 7-member team conduct a feasibility study together with the Chinese company. Part of the plan was to have an electric train snaking its way from the port of Mombasa to Nairobi and into Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, and possibly connect with Tanzania and South Sudan. The Chinese company maneuvered its way to dominate the entire project by ensuring they would be the sole agent to design, engineer, and procure the contract. In the environment and socio-economic study done on the viability of a new railway line, the Kenya Economic Survey of 2011 said the revenue earned from the cargo transportation in the railway subsector decreased from 4.3 billion in 2009 to 4.1 billion shillings in 2010. Thus, there was a need to restructure and improve infrastructure to increase revenue. A year before Transport Minister Mokwere's MOU was signed, businessman Jimmy Wanjigi had approached President Mwai Kibaki to ensure that the project that was struggling with funding would continue. He is reported to have sought an audience with the then Prime Minister Raila Odinga in the coalition government and was able to get it back on track, albeit for a while, before things went cold again.
Current regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, this is a home they know. In fact, their government was formed in this home.
At the onset of construction of the SGR, the government of Kenya maintained that it was footing only 15% of the total cost, with China providing the bulk of the financing. But with the tens of billions of shillings due for repayment from this year going forward, the chickens have come home to roost. That Tanzania is constructing its own SGR, traversing the country from the port of Dar es Salaam to the western part of the country with the intention of linking up Uganda, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, is cause for alarm for Kenya, since this would significantly dent the cargo business at the port of Mombasa. The cargo business is the holy grail of the entire SGR project, such that failure to secure sufficient rolling stock would make the project unviable.
Ile tulikuwa tumekubaliana na wale ambao ni wa China ambao walitupatia hii mkopo, tulikuwa tuwe tunasafirisha 6 trains. Tumefika kiwango ya 2020 where we are moving approximately 11 to 12 trains every day.
The SGR is also currently under the spotlight for exaggerated procurement prices, with the state also being accused of allowing the CRBC firm to bring in more than the agreed number of Chinese nationals to work on laying off the tracks, a task that ideally should have gone to Kenyan citizens. The Kenyan taxpayer is footing that bill. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
From that glaring pit of debt to a scare that has already caused death, the coronavirus brought with it as much destruction to the world as it did confusion. Over 80,000 cases have been reported so far.
But with the resumption of China Southern Airlines flights into Kenya, the question arises, are we treating the virus with the seriousness that it deserves?
Late afternoon at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, a video on social media shows the arrival of a China Southern Airlines arriving with 239 passengers on board. Angry Kenyans expressed concern that the government could leave Kenyans vulnerable to the disease by allowing flights from the international airline to resume. Some people were shocked that the staff receiving the aircraft on the ground were not wearing any masks or protective gear. A statement from the Ministry of Health clarifying that all passengers aboard were screened and advised to self-quarantine has done little to soothe the fears of Kenyans at a time when the disease is fast spreading across the world. In China, 59 new deaths have been reported, the lowest figure in more than 3 weeks, bringing the death toll to 2,715, while in Iran, 44 new cases have been reported in the past 24 hours, bringing the number of infected people to 139 with 19 deaths. Gina Kirori, NTV.
And that is certainly a story that we will be keeping close tabs on. All right, now to our team coverage on the broken system. The country is facing its biggest hurdle yet.
The country, of course, from corrupt politicians, failing institutions and a crippled judiciary, has a system that has been held at ransom or to ransom by individuals who pull the strings of impunity.
Now, Zainab Ismail takes a look at the capture of the state by cartels running the show.
Well, thank you, Mark and Smriti. Now, analysts place the amounts lost to graft between 600 and 800 billion shillings annually. Now, this is through the reckless plunder of public resources through outright theft and manipulation of procurement procedures for selfish gain. And although there have been efforts to curb this menace, there still is so much more that needs to be done. Here's a report I filed earlier on.
When news broke of how former Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa, now a civilian, allegedly walked into top offices in the country to negotiate a military arms deal with selfish interests, The country stood in awe and shock. This is a classic case of how graft cartels and tenderpreneurs have infiltrated the system. Perhaps now a clear manifestation of the words of former Chief Justice Willie Mutunga.
Basically serious cartels that are involved in terrorism, money laundering, corruption, counterfeit. It does control, the various arms of the state, and that's a fact.
It is indeed a gangster's paradise. From NYS to Anglo Leasing and the Kenya Pipeline, the scandals too many to list. In his book, Betrayal of Public Trust, former Lands and Education Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi paints a picture of the workings of cartels. He writes, "They wanted me to award the multi-billion shilling tender to supply laptops to Standard One pupils to a politician. In return, the politician offered to reward me handsomely, offering a generous share of the money as kickback." The multi-agency team comprising the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions have become the face of war on graft. But despite the efforts, the country continues to battle masked ghosts, pulling the strings of impunity from the dark.
When I was being interviewed by JLAC, I told them I have a skin of a rhino. These kind of intimidations, I'm from the military. I've seen worse thing than these funny threats, but it affects my junior staff. They're intimidated, they get disturbing SMS, but the plan is what I was telling you, is just trying to scare somebody not to investigate a case. So we have to address the slow judicial process. What is the general caliber of the politician that we elect? We've seen the kind of politician we are dealing with, some of them. And people blame and say the EACC is not working, or this government is corrupt. It is what you have planted. Quite a number of these people, not all, but some of them, you even doubt, were they elected or they were imposed? People are out there, it's a culture now, people are out there to go and get a political position to go and eat.
President Uhuru Kenyatta declared corruption a national security threat in 2015. On several occasions, he has backed with fearsome venom. But it is the lack of a bite that leaves many questioning his commitment.
Mnataka nifanye nini jameni? That I have not done.
Well, Mr. President, reclaiming the country is a proverbial 1,000,000-to-1 shot. But someone has to take that shot.
All right, well, the outright disregard for governance policies and law doesn't just extend, or rather it extends beyond just financial misappropriation to practically every sector of the country. And I know my colleague Silas Apollo has been taking a look at some of these cases. Silas?
Yes, Zainab, rightly as you said it, whether it is in the transport, education or health sector, those in authority and Kenyans at large just can't seem to follow rules and spirit and letter of the law. A classic case of chaos that has led to loss of life and left a brittle society in the brink of anarchy. Take a look.
Some years back, a young man, then newly married, rushed his wife to one of the country's leading private hospitals. And while doctors were able to save the life of Norbert Wakisa's wife, that decision would prove costly. Quite literally, the hospital not only charged him more than the agreed amount, but also confiscated his title deed as insurance. Wakisa's story would become the face of the plight of patients at the Nairobi Women's Hospital, where managers were accused of fleecing patients for big profits. But the hospital has been cleared of wrongdoing.
Kila mara huwa wananipigia simu wakiniambia, hii pesa unalipa kwa mwezi ni kidogo sana. Lazima ujaribu kando na hii 10,000 utafute pesa ingine umalize hii deni.
Wakisa's story was a snapshot of what many go through, albeit in silence, in a system that has turned to eating its own. A society where decorum, moral values and the rule of law no longer hold. Instead, chaos and anarchy are the new order.
When you look at us today, government positions are supposed to be for enriching us. When the government positions are supposed to be for public service, umejitolea kusaidia wananchi wa Kenya, but we go there to get rich.
And it is not only the powerful that are to blame. Even the common man has become part of the rot. For instance, the unruly borders and the larger public transport system was disobedient for basic traffic regulations are leaving Kenyans dead.
That group of fellow Kenyans has become unruly in an unbelievable manner. In certain parts of the country, it operates like a mafia. Someone is involved in an accident, hits a border, and they all come and burn the car without even listening to what was happening.
Then there is a political class whose apathy for order and disregard for court orders is appalling. We elected them, but they are now shooting us in the neck, robbing us of money and property, and punching walls in myopic protestations.
We really need to put the people of Kenya first as our country. We need to lift the people's consciousness. We need to stop side shows.
So broken is the country's governance system that a 2016 survey found that most young people did not care how they got rich as long as they avoided jail. More than a third said they would easily give or take a bribe. These are the Psalms of anarchy.
Yes, now this self-minding mentality has been perpetuated by the age-long curse of tribalism. Lois Wangoya has been unpacking the deadly effect of negative ethnicity in the country. Lois?
Indeed, Silas, the problem of negative ethnicity is one that has seen Kenya pay the ultimate price. Back to that fateful day in the year 2007 when all hell broke loose and an orgy of bloodletting led to the death of thousands and displaced even more. Yet, our politics still feeds on these very vice like a parasite. Take a look at my report.
Kilometers from Eldoret town is Kiambaa. Violence of 2007-2008. Naomi Ngendo, aged 35 years then, took her grandmother and her children to seek refuge in the safest and most sacred place they could find in the midst of the fire engulfing the area, the KAG church. But ethnicity and tribalism, fueled by greed for power, had quickly shredded that long-held belief and unraveled the yarn that held up the social fabric.
Mamati zenye tulikuwa tumelalia hiyo siku ya 31st wakaanza kuisanya kwa mlango na hapo ndio waliakishia.
The 2007-2008 disputed election had propelled the entrenchment of bad politics, turning against brothers. Lives were lost, including Ngendo's kin.
Nilinama tu hivi, nikaona penye iko mwanya. So hapo ndio niweza kupita, nikakuta wamama wamelaliana. Mimi wakati nikanyanga wamama nikaanguka, nikaroll. So wakati nilikuwa nachomoka hivi nje ndio nikasikia sasa ni masikio imechomeka. Kumbe kukuja kuangalia mbele nikakuta ni mkono ilishikwa kidogo na hiyo moshi. Nikatoka. Na niko na mtoto ndio nilikuwa nazuia sasa kichwa, nilikuwa nazuia kichwa isichomeke. Na msichana wangu naye alikuwa na mtoto. Yeye wakati alikuwa anataka arukishie mtoto wake kwa dirisha, unajua sasa mtu anang'ang'ana tu penye atatoka. Mtoto akafunguka leso ikakasijuni kukatika ilikatika ama ili nini. Yeye akaweza kuruka, mtoto akarushwa nje na watu. Akachukua mtoto wake na kuenda akatorokea Langas police station.
40-year-old Grace Mokiri escaped with her life and saved those of her 2 children. She, however, is still traumatized by her inability to save her niece who burnt to death in the fire.
Unajua ni heri ile kitu huku na usikiange alikuwa na aliteketea, lakini sasa ile yenye unaangalia wewe mwenyewe na unaona na umejaribu kung'ang'ana na ukawa umeshindwa kuokoa, unajua kitu haiwezi toka kwa kichwa yako ama kwa roho yako.
Her niece's death was just the beginning of more tribalism fueled deaths here.
Alikatwa hivi nikiona na wakashika hivi wakaangusha tu hivi na nyuma wakachukua masagari wakawekelea na wakapiga kiberiti Ndio nikauliza kweli, yani kabisa mnaua mtu hivyo?
Such traumatic events would be recorded in different parts of the country as politicians fought for power in 2008, and that trend did not end with the end of the violence. Even in the relative calm, it has been the norm for Kenyans and political leaders included. Currently, political temperatures are slowly and surely rising in the country, with the tribal card being dropped with near reckless abandon in the current political arena.
Liwe ni jambo la kuogopa tunapoona watu ambao hawana hatia walilala makaburini na sasa tunataka kuelekeza pale. Mambo haya yote yameletwa na uhasama ambao umetolewa na chuki na maneno katika mikutano.
In the meantime, Kenyans are scared of the ongoing political developments in the country characterized by tribalism.
Kiangalia kama Uhuru na Raila kweli wanafurahia mambo ya BBI. Ruto sasa ako kivyake. Sasa tunashindwa tena kutakuwa aje. So tuko na hofu sana.
Liz Wangoi, NTV, Kiamba, in the county of Uasin Gishu.
Bad manners transcend negative ethnicity to as close as your own home, where the family unit is first disintegrating. Oko Okosa looks at our moral conscience or the lack of it. Oko?
Well, Lois, the big question is, do we really aspire to any moral values as a people? What with cases of murder being on the rise, more so within the family unit, and sexual offenses being committed like sport, even to young ones, young innocent ones, in a society where it appears morals have been thrown out of the window. Here is my report on Solid Fabric. It was perhaps a mother's worst nightmare, caught in real time. She walked in on a 13-year-old daughter being defiled.
Nikaanza kuitana, hakuna mwenye alinitikia. Nikajaza na akili niende kwa hii landi, saa zingine ako kwa hiyo landi na mtu mwingine. Kuenda nikasikia mwenye anapiga kelele na nafunika mdomo. Nikatembea polepole, nikaingia hapo, nikapata huyo mtu kana lala na yeye.
The grade 4 pupil had been in this situation before. Twice she had been defiled, lured by men much older than her, men who ideally should have been her protectors, but who instead turned into her tormentors.
Mara ya kwanza nilikuwa lodge. Niko nenda kwa toilet, akaniita. Akanipea pesa. Nikasema niingie ndani, nitoe nguo, akalala na mimi. Mara pili nilikuwa funakwa jenga draw. Yeye akaniita kwa hiyo nyumba. Akanambia nitoe nguo, akanipea pesa, akalala na mimi.
The girl who has since dropped out of school is now 6 months pregnant, yet none of the 3 men who robbed her of her innocence have been apprehended, despite a report being made at Ojola police post.
Kitu kingine nilifanyika, mtu ni mgonjwa. Sasa tulimpeleka usi, wakapata virusi ziko chini, wakampea dawa ya kukinga.
The perpetrators of the heinous act are well known to the girl's family, just like in many other cases reported across the country. Surveys conducted over the years have revealed that thousands of Kenyan children who are nursing lifetime scars of defilement have been harmed by the same people supposed to protect them. Social scientist Wycliffe Kigan attributes this to what he describes as collapsed social systems.
There is a rapid social change going around the world. It's happening at an unprecedented pace, actually, that everyone is being affected, including the social systems and social institutions. Look, for example, a family, is the main socializing agent, but it has been caught up with this social change and is actually destabilized completely. Look at religion, destabilized completely. Look at education, is going through a lot of turbulence. And these are the systems that were put in place by society to do what? To do what we call social control.
But Kigan is still optimistic that the solid moral fabric can still be salvaged a stitch at a time.
One of the best way to prevent is really to understand, to come up with the facts, yeah, truth studies, and then proper social planning to set systems that will give a backup to the vulnerable in the society.
Ouko Kusa, NTV. Now, in all this, the response of Kenyans who should be demanding better remains classic. My colleague Brenda Wanga has been exploring the psychological effects of the ills bedeviling the country on Kenyans. Brenda?
Well, yes, Okusa. They say that laughter is the best medicine and that it may even add a few more days to your life. Well, if that is the case, then Kenyans are on the right track to long life. After all, we have perfected the art of seeing the funny in just about any situation, pleasant or grim. But is the laughter genuine, or does it mask much more? Here's my report on how we are surviving in an otherwise broken system.
It doesn't matter whether it's issues of graft cases in courts or the poison in our food. Trust Kenyans to turn the heavy into the light, quite literally. But the banter shared over the internet masks a more serious and grave situation.
We are in problems, but how do we cope? We make fun out of it. But that fun is the opposite of mourning. It's some kind of displacement, so to speak, some kind of fixation, so to speak, some kind of hedonism, avoiding pain.
Indeed, it would appear that the country is in the grip of collective trauma, which is defined as traumatic psychological effects shared by a group of people of any size, up to and including an entire society. Kenyans have over time experienced events that fit this bill.
Systems in the country are not working to the expectations of the people, and they have, in a sense, lost hope.
From the high fatality road accidents to building collapses to post-election violence, the list is long and indeed littered with hundreds of corpses. These events usually the result of the collapse of the country's governance systems, situations that in other countries will see the citizenry demand answers and accountability from those in power. In Kenya, the reaction is usually predictable. Anger, sorrow at times, memes, and as has become standard response, move on, or in street talk, bora uhai.
How long are we going to be patient? How long are we going to be comical about tragic events? And our political and economic and policy leaders have to actually start thinking about remedying this situation.
The lack of faith in getting the systems to work and a litany of stressful events is what makes Kenyans latch onto the scarce sprinklings of good news.
Those are anecdotal events that raise our happiness for a moment. Then we relapse back into our sadness. We have no chance of maintaining these moments, these events that make us happy. Every day we have politicians.
In the midst of all this, the political class, the ones on whose shoulders the responsibility of making the society's leadership better or worse, appear content with the status quo. After all, bora uhai.
This is a call for reflection, a call for each one of us to search our souls for what part we play in breaking the system. Dan Mwangi put together this spoken word piece.
They say mirror keeps you awake, ukiichana. Well, so does the mirror. Ukichana, nywele, you may lose your peace or see how dreadful we are, and that yaliyopita kweli ni ndwele. We throw stones like it was a biblical Steve, yet stone-cold hearts we wrestle with. We label it less of sin. We want to fix others, but will not fix ourselves. We want to bring them to book, but will not fix our shelves. We are guilty, but are not among those who feel ourselves. A false sense of righteousness, the gist of how we feel ourselves. The least I can tell, these dreams in our heads, these are cartels. The system is broken, And we all have mallets in our hands. If you know, you know. And if not, I'll help you understand. We rumble about the crumbles, yet we put our best foot forward. As we cause the stumbles, we sing, how great thou art, then draw knives at each other, brother on brother, daughter on mother, son on father, name it. And speaking of names, you give preference on account of tribe. Caught on the wrong? Well, you give a bribe. We scream and write about and against corruption to the letter, but throw out conscience as fast as we do with that litter. Lost integrity. You vowed to fidelity, but now have bowed to the woo of that with which you are not endowed. Our integrity is sometimes almost like the mirage of kids with laptops. And we don't get over the top when we overlap. Stop. We are part of the problem. We must be part of the solution, but we must first realize we are dissolved in the dirty waters of the broken sewer, the broken system. It's a wrap.
Well, we also sought your thoughts as Kenyans on the broken system. This is what some said.
Tunafanya kuona mambo yanaendelea, yani kuna wizi mwingi tu unaendelea katika serikali. Na sisi huku chini twaumia, hatuna kazi, hatuna hela ya kufanya biashara. Maisha magumu kweli.
Sifurahii kabisa. Hata heri siku za Kibaki ama siku za Moi mwenye ametuacha juzi. Lakini siku hizi viongozi hakuna chochote wanafanya.
Vile naona nchi inaendezwa, haendeshi kwa njia iliyo mzuri. Hasa nataka kuangazia mambo ambayo yanaendelea kule Nairobi. Kaunti ya Nairobi sielewi mwelekeo inaendelea wapi. Ndio hata pia natupatia figa ya Kenya mzima tunaenda namna gani. Fisadi pia umekidi.
Waswahili walisema umleavyo mwana ndivyo akuavyo. So kama mji mkubwa wa Nairobi utaonyesha heshima hizi, inaonekana kaunti nyingine pia zitafuata mtindo na tutakuwa tukiona aibu.
Mimi naona values zimepotea. Hakuna ile kudhamini mwenzako, kuona wacha mimi nikipata nimsaidie mwenzangu. Waona? Sasa naona ule utu umetutoka sisi.
Ningependa mikakati dhabiti iwekwe ili kuhakikisha kila jambo linatekelezwa. Kama tuseme kama ni huduma kwa wananchi, ihakikisha serikali inawahudumia jinsi wananchi wanavyotaka. Manake ni wao walipa ushuru.
Well, back to you, Mark and Smriti.
All right, Brenda, thanks very much indeed. And also thank you to Silas, Lois, Zainab and Okusa. But our team coverage does not end there.
That's right. After the break, Ken Mijungu will be joined by Richard Takim, an author and apostolic leader at the Cry of Spirit Ministries, because we're all asking, with all this, the broken system, where is the church? We'll be back shortly. Stay with NTV Tonight.
At Safaricom Foundation, we believe that people's dreams have the power to uplift their communities. And this is why we are committed to investing in programs that focus on health, education, and economic empowerment. Through Ndoto Zetu, last year, we met one such dreamer, Dr. Michael Kazungu, who believed that improving some of the facilities at Blue Nile Hospital would increase the levels of access to healthcare for the residents of Mkoroshoni in Kilifi County.
Tulikuwa kama wanakijiji tunapata shida sana.
Kwa bahati nzuri tulipo apply basi tulitunukiwa zawadi kubwa sana, mashini ya kupima damu inaitwa Fulmogram machine pamoja na kile kitanda. Wengi ambao wanakuja sasa hivi wanapata huduma nzuri kwa bei nafuu.
Tuma ombi lako leo online safaricomfoundation.org/ndoto zetu au tafuta msafara wa Safaricom mkoa wako.
Ndoto zetu, uwezo wetu.
A Family Bank salary account is the ideal personal bank account for employed customers. Open a salary account today and enjoy salary advance of up to 50% of your net salary, access salary loans after 6 months, salary credits and check of loans with a repayment period of up to 48 months. With no minimum opening balance and no operating balance, open your account today and let this account take care of your finances while at work.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
For maximum cavity protection.
and now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Discover the all-new Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Lotion, specially formulated with Nivea's Deep Moisture Serum and Africa's natural cocoa for 48-hour deep moisture. Glowing, radiant skin with Nourishing Cocoa Lotion from Nivea. Get 48-hour deep moisture from the new range of Nivea body lotions.
Inakwambia bibi kuna mdenge fulani bibi hapo na nywele refu yani. Kuna ngoko fulani bibi amemezali yake hadi Sasa ndio madonna kutupia mtu mbao. Mimi nimemjenga dhao gari ilikuwa salasa akaniambia nimjenge 17 ngapati na 30 yangu.
The way this position is tiring. Nimechoka.
Who's that?
Ni shosho fulani hapa hivi.
Ati shosho.
Call for long at 1 shilling 50 cents to all networks.
Cartello!
Dial star 544 hash to subscribe. Telcom, moving with you.
Dettol's main objective is to help children protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold?
No!
They are spread through germs on your hands. Your hands collect germs that causes diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap that gives the best germ protection ever against many illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
For 1 day only, get up to 50% off on the Dettol range with free shipping only on the Jumia Super Brand Day. Enjoy this great offer only on the 27th of February 2020.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Drive towards growth with Gulf African Bank and Isuzu. Get 95% Sharia-compliant financing with a bundled working capital of 300,000 shillings. SMS Isuzu to 21981 to get started. For more information, call us on 0711 075 000 or visit us at any of our branches countrywide. Gulf African Bank. We see a better today.
Mombasa Port Sacco is an award-winning registered deposit-taking Sacco offering financial solutions to its members ranging from long-term development loans, agricultural and business loans, Chama loans and numerous savings products with high returns. Mombasa Port Sacco is open to all. Join the award-winning Sacco today and realize your dream.
Buda basi kama umerudia wizi na unaweza ibia mdem sai mchana, itabidi basi umeachana sera. Najua kamiti ni home.
I've been thinking, why don't we have the double date at my place tonight? Tonight? I think it's time you met my girl.
Joey needs to know if you're allergic to anything.
I'm like a hyena. I eat anything placed in front of me. Soon you'll get what you want.
150,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 175,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Join us for our site visit on 29 February 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for more information.
Of course, the news continues right here on NTV. Tonight, we still have business and sports, but now team coverage, the last part of it, and that's about analyzing everything that has been said out of the stories that you have watched tonight. And we are glad to have Apostle Richard Takim, who is from the Cry of Spirit Ministries, to talk to us tonight. Welcome, Apostle, to our newsroom. And let me begin by asking, having watched those stories and seen what's happening in the country, has this to do with lack of morality, lack of religion or religious practices, or it's purely lawlessness in the country?
Well, actually, it's just lawlessness. The issue is there are two major institutions that God established on it to work on the moral fabric of a human being. Because of what happened in the Garden of Eden, Genesis chapter 2, chapter 3, it's impossible for a human being to live right on his own. We are just born natural lawbreakers. Every human being is born
natural lawbreakers.
Yeah, every human being is a natural lawbreaker. That little child that come out of the mother's womb crying in the hospital is a lawbreaker already.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the fall. So God knew that. So God then established two institutions on earth to help us grow up so that we will not be lawbreakers, so that there will be no lawlessness. So the first institution is that of the family. That is why once the family institution is broken down, the child cannot become who he ought to be. So the child will grow up being a wild child. And when you now grow up being a wild child, you now become, let's say, a medical doctor. You become a wild medical doctor.
Okay.
You become a politician, you become a wild politician. Before you know, you are giving the law enforcement agency a lot of jobs to do.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. And you have watched, and Kenyans are really concerned with what's happening. But this is so entrenched into the common mwananchis, Wanjiku as I may call them, and also the leadership of this country. So the question would be, from where you sit as a member of the clergy's church, how broken is this system?
In fact, the system is so broken. It's not just peculiar to Kenya. It's global. It's so broken, and because it's a spiritual thing. Because we are spirit beings living in bodies. So once the spiritual life is out of order, the natural life cannot be in order. So if you look at it, to me, I would say family has failed, church has failed, because God placed the family and the church to work on the human race.
Okay.
To work on the human being. So that as you are born, let's say you are born in a broken system, a broken family, because most people are not born in established families. We have fathers that have no values. So you are born in a family that have no values. The church is there as the ground where God now factored in the values that are missing. You get my point? But if the church is now a shame on the face of the earth, the church is now a means for money making, a scam. We have a lot of scandalous pastors that are just con men on the pulpit. So how can you produce righteous breed? For instance, every politician goes to mosque, go to church. So me, I'm talking about church because that's where I came from. Now, as a man of God, your first priority ought to be to work on the human soul, not the pocket. So people come to church, we focus on their pockets instead of their hearts. So you are now focusing on his pocket. All your teachings will be how to bring the money out of the pocket. All the visions will be how to bring the money out of the pocket. So you are not neglecting the real aspect of a human being that made God to bring the person to your church, which is bringing out the soul, the spirit, refurbishing it, putting the life of God in the spirit.
Okay.
You get my point? So to me, the broken system family, broken system church, and that's why you see the decay is out there. You see, it would be funny for people to know that God did not put the responsibility of dealing with corruption in the hand of government. No. God put it in the hand of the church. Because in the book of Jeremiah chapter 23, the Bible says corruption has proceeded from the prophets to the nation.
Okay. So we have virtually most systems broken down. The judiciary, the business sector, transport, education, health, and to crown it all, Kenya is a very ethnicized or an ethnic society. How do we bridge this deficit? Because we have determined that it's broken, and from you it's broken from birth. So how do we fix this?
You see, I think fixing this system begins from the clergymen.
Okay. From the church?
The church,
Okay.
not even the politicians. The church. If we get it right, it will be right. Look at Kenya. I'm told that Kenya has about 85% Christians, which means 85% Kenyans goes to church. You get my point? What are the pastors doing with them?
Okay.
That is the issue. So if the church come back to its feet, currently the church is sick. If the church becomes healthy, we can fix the system. Most politicians go to church. They listen to their reverend fathers, their pastors, their bishops every Sunday. So to me, the recovery must begin from the church. You get my point? God, it is preachers that God will have to use to get this thing back. If you put in the hand of government, the government cannot handle it. Like I said, God did not put the responsibility of working on the human soul on the government.
In the government, okay.
It's in the church.
Okay. So to individuals,
yes,
you and I,
yes,
the Wanjikus and Otienus,
yes,
what is our role in fixing this?
Our role is for us to go back to the moral values of the Bible. To me, the Bible is not a book for Christians. To me, it's a book for the human race, because there are a lot of values in it that we can read and cultivate. You get my point? As individuals, we should be guided by the fear of God. As an individual, if all of us fear God, that alone will restrain our decisions. It will govern the way we do things. You get my point? You will know that God is watching you. You get my point? Once you fear God, it controls your character.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're taking us back to the church.
Yes.
So where is the place of civil activism? Where is the place of complaining? Where is the place of writing letters and petitions in what you're saying? Where is that place?
You see, can I tell you, that has never helped any society. Activism, writing letters, all of that stuff, it has never helped. Me, I'm preferring permanent solution.
Okay.
That is just a relief. At most, the government could pay attention for a season, and this government come and go, another one comes. But we are dealing with human beings.
All right.
Yes, even these activists themselves, most of them are corrupt. They just scream for money. Once you put it in their mouth, they keep quiet.
Great. All right, so the fabric is so broken. Thank you very much, Apostle Takim. We had little time, but at least you shed light, unless you have something in 30 seconds you want to say about it.
Well, I think, like I've said, we should just go back to the values that the human race was established to be born in.
Okay.
Once we go back there, it's okay. The fear of God should guide us.
That will sort out all our problems.
Sort out all, yeah.
All right, a good point to end our team coverage for tonight. Thanks, Apostle, for coming. And back to Mark and Smriti.
Kenya Climate Innovation Center is a center which is trying to help Kenya to become more resilient to climate change. Our job is really to help the private sector, especially small and medium enterprises, to look at climate change as an opportunity. We know climate change is the biggest threat which is facing humankind in the 21st century.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
With Lipa na M-Pesa, you get more and now you can win.
Kwa majina naitwa Salma Salim, natoka Mombasa County na mimi ndio mshindi wa nyumba ya Lipa na M-Pesa. Nilikuwa nimelala, nikasikia simu nalia, nikapokea. I was so excited. At the moment, option ya kwanza itakuwa kuirent. Wakenya wote wazidi kushiriki, wataweza kushinda vitu vingi kutoka kwa Safaricom.
Lipa na M-Pesa and win now. Do more with Lipa na M-Pesa.
Runner Auction Drive. Runner Auto Selection Limited, importers of selected motor vehicles, introduces 100 newly imported cars on auction. Visit our Kisumu, Eldoret and Nairobi branches and drive away with a brand new motor vehicle at the lowest prices. 27th February, Kisumu. 28th February, Eldoret. 29th February, Nairobi. We shall also be having auctions in Kisumu every Thursday starting from 20th February. For more inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0701 777 779. Runner Auto Selection. Your choice, your success.
The Kisumu National Polytechnic invites the public for the second annual International Multidisciplinary Conference and Open Day on 27th to 28th February 2020 at the Kisumu National Polytechnic Hall. The theme is TVET's role in building sustainable blue economy. The aim of the conference is to occasion a stage for researchers, academicians, policymakers, professional bodies and students from all over the world to present their research results, network and build capacity in their various disciplines. For more details, visit our website or contact us on the numbers on your screen.
Leading edge, future-oriented, trustworthy platform.
Your multi-bet is on its way to hit the bullseye. Oh, you lose one match, but only in Mozart. Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
It is time to get down to business. Welcome, I am Julian Amboko. The government has admitted that it was slow in responding to the locust invasion which has ravaged farm produce in parts of the country. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya says this can in part be attributed to poor coordination between the national and county governments, given that agriculture is a devolved function.
Agriculture is largely devolved. So national government is left with the function of coordination, overarching national policy, research, and the capacity building. Now, when we are supporting counties in training on how to deal with locusts, when we are providing equipment, it's capacity building.
And elsewhere, the National Assembly this afternoon extended the period of consideration of the budget policy statement of 2020, citing need for more time to meet relevant stakeholders in the budget-making process. This process, which was to be concluded on Thursday this week, now has an additional 7 days to be wrapped up. The chairperson of the Budget Committee cited disruption in the initial phases of the 2020 budget cycle.
The Public Finance Management Act only gives us 14 days from the time the BPS and the debt management strategy paper are laid in the House. And from the days, if you count the days from the time when these documents were tabled in the House by the leader of majority, the 14 days lapsed tomorrow, Thursday. And as I have indicated, it was not practical, given that this year we were interrupted by the unfortunate passing on of His Excellency, the late President Daniel Moi.
And getting back to matters agriculture, the government is mulling over the idea of having the private sector get more involved in handling the supply of subsidized inputs to farmers. It is hoped that this will enable farmers to reap higher returns from their vocation by eliminating middlemen. Alex Mwangi with the details.
It's the sector which makes the single largest contribution to the country's GDP. However, owing to the protracted implementation of policies to improve productivity in the agricultural sector, an example being in value addition, it continues to perennially punch below its weight.
What I can say is our levels of productivity are pathetic. Sri Lanka tea produces half what Kenya does in terms of raw tea. Because Sri Lanka processes and adds value, the value of their tea crop is 4 times what Kenya's is. So they produce half and get 4 times as much.
It's not only the present state of the agriculture sector that is in need of an urgent revamp, but its future as well.
Over the next decade, nearly 40% of the agriculture workforce will be 65 or even older. We do not have the pipeline to replace these workers because every year 600 fewer young people are entering the sector.
The Agriculture Cabinet Secretary, Peter Munya, says there are plans to overhaul the manner in which the input subsidy program is managed in the country, stating that it has been misused and has served to benefit middlemen only.
We have already, in fact, last week, this Tuesday, we passed the e-voucher program where all the subsidies government will be giving will not be government directly buying inputs and selling to the farmer. We want to bring in the private sector to sell the inputs to the farmers. According to Munya, a pilot of the e-voucher system is currently running in Makueni County. The agriculture sector generates 26% of GDP, employs 60% of people in the rural areas and 40% in urban areas, provides 65% of Kenya's exports, and accounts for 55% of the raw materials in local industries.
For the first time ever coming together.
The 2020 National Agriculture Summit taking place in Nairobi ends on Thursday. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
And now we look at the capital markets. Shareholders of Kenya Power saw their wealth at the Nairobi Securities Exchange fall by 5.3% during Wednesday's trade, with the share price closing the day at 2 shillings and 52 cents. This came on the back of investors' reaction to the company's poor performance in the year ended June 2019. Kenya Power is one of the companies which have delayed in the release of financial results owing to the vacancy at the Office of the Auditor General. The company has today released unaudited financial statements for the 12 months ended June 2019, revealing a 92% drop in its net earnings for the period to stand at just 262 million shillings. In the period under review, the company's revenues grew by a paltry 1.5% to just 133 million shillings, which was wiped out by a 7.2% increase in its power purchase costs, which stood at 90.2 million shillings. Kenya Power has attributed this adverse performance to this increase in costs. Kenya Power restated its earnings for the year ended June 2018, revising its net profit upward by 70.4% from the previously reported 1.92 billion shillings. These results come against the backdrop of the appointment of Bernard Ngugi as the company's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer in October 2019, with the mandate of improving Kenya Power's profitability. Also caught in the wait for the new Auditor General is East African Portland Cement, whose loss for the half-year ended December 2019 increased by 24% to 1.58 billion shillings, according to its unaudited financial statements. And finally, small and medium-sized businesses in Machakos County are reaping the benefits of improved infrastructure and the decentralization of government services. Victor Kiprop toured the county and now tells us how investments in infrastructure and policy intervention by the county government are helping change the fortunes of residents and small businesses.
The skies, the transformation of Machakos town in the 7 years of devolution is unmistakable. From the 10,000-seater Kenyatta Stadium, several new access roads including the Makutano Kadhiani, Kadhiani Kakuyuni and Kivandani Masinga, a People's Park, an upcoming fire station, as well as street lights and pavement works among other things, the fruits of devolution are beginning to be realized, a job the county government says will continue in order to promote trade and wealth creation.
We've been supporting even small business people, the Mama Bogas. We've been building market sheds across the 8 sub-counties of Machakos town. We've been also doing border sheds to support our border riders. We've also been doing SME forum, that's a small medium enterprises forum. And the idea is to encourage our entrepreneurs, to show them where to get funds, even to link them with markets, and to empower them to do business in Machakos and get money into their pocket.
With small businesses coming up, they're cropping up, and that is definitely creation of employment. We have that safety, the safety aspect of it. People are so safe, they even close their business late, and now in business, plus one hour is plus some profit. So people are making more money than they used to make.
At the Machakos market, business is booming. As more than 6,000 small-scale traders and their clients go about their daily activities, part of which they say has been boosted by the scrapping of open-air market levies by the county government.
Kwa upande wa malipo, sisi tuko afadhali kwa sababu wakina mama hatulipi. Gavana wetu ametulipia. Kwa hivyo watu wanalipa, kitu wanaanza kulalamika ni wa license. Nasikia wameongezewa license. Lakini sisi wakina mama wa mboka hatujalipa kitu, tumelipiwa kitambo.
The decision to exempt small-scale traders from specific levies, which was announced by Governor Alfred Mutua in 2017, was aimed at cushioning vulnerable members of the business community and growing the local economy.
About 7 years since implementation began, devolution has certainly had its own fair share of challenges and successes for different people in different counties. For the residents and the traders of the Mavoko market, the construction of this open-air shed by the county government of Machakos remains a major win.
Before devolution, soko yetu ilikuwa chini. Kihali, hata kimijengo ilikuwa chini. But venye devolution imekuja, tumeona maendeleo. Tumekuwa tunaweza engage serikali kwa ukaribu na zile projects zenye tunahitaji tumeona tukifanyiwa, japokuwa zingine bado, but naweza sema nyingi wazo zimefanywa.
And while some challenges remain with regards to finding a balance between generating revenue and encouraging businesses and investment, the journey of transforming the county's infrastructure and creating an enabling environment for business has to stay on course.
We are going to put up more market shades. We are going to put more toilets for the business community. We are going to put border sheds. We are also planning to come up with industrial parks, at least one in every eight sub counties in Machakos County. And again, we're also going to have so many forums so that we can link our business people with capital.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Machakos County accounts for the 5th largest share of Kenya's GDP at 3.2%, behind Nairobi, Nakuru, Kiambu, and Mombasa. Victor Kiprop, NTV.
And that takes us to the close of business. I leave you with a financial report.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Eldora Technical Training Institute (ETTI) prides itself as a student-centered institution committed to nurturing and growing careers. We offer technical training and market-driven courses at high diploma, certificate and craftsmanship level in the following programs: engineering, building and construction, business administration and commerce, agriculture and animal health, tourism and hospitality management, education, social studies, information communication technology, accounting, banking and finance, medical and health sciences, journalism and mass communication. Enrollment for May and September intakes is ongoing. Apply now. Eldora Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Welcome back to NTV Tonight. Mount Kenya East leaders have remained adamant that the interests of the communities come first and that it doesn't matter who wins the 2022 presidency.
The leaders, who harmonized proposals from Embu, Tharaka Nithi and Meru counties today, have also proposed an expanded executive and a 45% share of the national revenue be dispersed to the counties.
Melito Letenges has more.
Final touches on the BBI Rally Meru chapter brought together leaders and over 1,000 delegates from Mount Kenya East in Kerobia Stadium, Tharaka Nithi County. Here, the political leaders explained to the community their position.
There's no love in politics. Those who were friends yesterday, today they are enemies for no reason. Those who were enemies yesterday, today are friends.
The leaders drummed up their support for President Kenyatta ahead of the rally on Saturday.
Wameplan kuja kukomboa pikipiki ya kutembea, wakineta na majina, waambie Tharaka Nithi pikipiki zote za Tharaka Nithi zimekombolewa na Mudhomi Njoki siku hiyo ya Saturday.
The joint proposal by the three counties has put into consideration the expansion of the executive and share of not less than 45% of all revenue by the national government disbursed to the counties. Institutional and legislative reforms are also included in the document. The leaders have, however, condemned any political talk in the BBI rally on Saturday, saying non-development agenda shall be condemned. As the BBI talk gains momentum in the Mount Kenya region, a final meeting shall be held in Meru on Friday to put together a final memorandum from the larger region. The final document will be presented on Saturday. Melita Oletenges, NTV.
All right, from that, we shift focus to the sports news. Do stay with us. Watson Karuma will have the very latest for you.
Molfix's breathable surface, developed with airsoft technology, is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I've found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Prepare yourself for a new live bet experience. Top minute, boosted live bet odds. Mozart, make a decision.
Breastfeeding tips for new mothers. Anticipate your baby's desires. You can anticipate their needs by watching for a few telltale signs. Get comfortable while nursing. The constant squirming and moving on your part can disrupt your baby's breastfeeding.
Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kit.
Buda basi kama umerudia wizi na unaweza ibia mdem sai mchana, itabidi basi umeachana sera. Najua kamiti ni home.
I've been thinking, why don't we have the double date at my place tonight?
Tonight?
I think it's time you met my girl. Joey needs to know if you're allergic to anything.
I'm like a hyena. I eat anything placed in front of me. Soon you'll get what you want.
150,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 175,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Join us for a site visit on 29 February 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for more information.
NTV Sport in association with MozartBet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Welcome to NTV Sport. I'm Watson Karuma. It's down to 4, the number of Kenyan boxers who advanced to the semi-final of the African Boxing Olympics qualifier ongoing in Dakar, Senegal. Christine Ongare will take on Cheda Rabab from Morocco in the women's flyweight after she saw off Modestine Munga in the quarters. Nico Koth will face Uganda's Isaac Masembe in the men's featherweight semis. Elizabeth Akinyi will be seeking a final berth in the women's welterweight category when she takes to the ring against Oumeima Abibobel of Morocco in the semi-final. Earlier, Joey outpunched Maroy Sadiki in the men's heavyweight quarters to book a semi-final clash with Younes Baala of Morocco. This as Frederick Ramogi was stunned by Morocco's Bourous Ahmed in the men's super heavyweight. The national taekwondo team arrived in the country this afternoon after competing in the African Olympics qualifiers in Rabat, Morocco. Kenya's Faith Ogalo was the only Kenyan taekwondo athlete to qualify for the Olympics since 2008 after beating Florence Eldima from Chad 27-21 in the 67-kilogram heavyweight division final. Ogalo, a third-year student at Kibabi University, tasted success when she won silver at the 2019 African Games, which was held in Rabat, Morocco, at the same venue, Olympic qualification. The qualifiers were a success for Kenya despite Newton Maliro, Edwin Lemiso, Evelyn Aluoch, and para-taekwondo player Peter Kaban failing to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics.
Na tukasema lazima tuimalize na Mungu. Ilikuwa ni Mungu hakika. Alitusaidia na tukaweza kuqualify. Though wengine walishindiwa kwa semi-finals, but Kenya we did our very best. There was change this time round, we thank God.
Wachezaji wetu wote walifika semi-finals, lakini kwa uwezo wake Mwenyezi Mungu mmoja ndiyo amepata dhahabu. Na tunashangilia sana. Tunashukuru serikali ya Kenya na wadau wengine wote.
Still on that road to Tokyo, 4 Kenya table tennis team players will open their campaign for the qualification to the Olympic Games at the Africa Table Tennis Qualifiers in Tunisia starting tomorrow. Top seed Brian Mutua will lead Kenya's charge that also has Josiah Wandera, Doreen Juma, and Lydia Setei, coached by Kennedy Kojal. Kenya will participate in the men's and women's singles and mixed doubles. A total of 10 African players have a chance to qualify for the Tokyo Games in the 3-day competition, which concludes on Saturday. Among those fighting for an Olympic ticket include Nigerian legend Sigan Toriola. Muthaiga Golf Club's Greg Snow beat Simon Ngige of Thika Sports Club by 5 shots to claim the 11th leg of the 2019-2020 Safari Tour Golf Series at Current Country Club course. Snow, who took the lead in round 3, fired 3 under par 68 in the final round despite picking up 2 double bogeys on the 15th and 16th holes for an all-round total of 4 under par 280. His victory is the 5th in the Safari Tour this season. Ngigi carded 2 under par 69 in the final round for 1 over par 285. Long-hitting Dismas Indiza made 1 birdie and an eagle 3 with 4 bogeys in his card for 1 over par 72 and a total of 2 over par 286, which he needed to top the points table. Royal Nairobi Golf Club's Eric Ooko finished 4th overall with 287. A total of 8 Kenyan players qualified for the Magical Kenya Open.
To
couple of weeks' time now, the big event. But it's a good way to finish the season on a high, and I look forward to getting open.
The women's national football team, Harambee Starlets, intensified their preparations for the forthcoming Turkish Women Cup. 24 players checked into camp on Monday morning for training sessions at the Camp Toyoyo grounds. Vihiga Queens midfielder Cynthia Shilwatso has requested to be omitted from the squad and has been replaced by Fosca from Zitek Sparks. Other countries that will participate in the tournament include Hungary, Venezuela, Hong Kong, Romania, Uzbekistan, Northern Ireland, Turkmenistan and Chile. The final squad, comprising of 21 players, will be released a few days before the team jets out to Turkey next month. A friendly match against the national under-16 boys team has been lined up for Friday.
Today I'm assessing the qualities of the players for camp so that I can know at which level that kama coach ndaweza kusukuma hawa wachezaji. Kwa kweli wako kwa pre-season na itahitaji tu wasukume properly ndio tuweze compete enough come next week in Turkey.
Now, the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games will go on even as the coronavirus, nowadays known as COVID-19, continues to impact sport across Asia and in Europe. A number of Italian Serie A matches in Italy will be held behind closed doors this weekend after 229 people tested positive for the virus, with 7 reported dead.
Organizers have confirmed that the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games will go ahead, even as the Japanese government called for major events in the coming weeks to be postponed, cancelled or scaled back over the coronavirus.
Our basic thinking is to conduct the Olympics and Paralympics as planned. That's our assumption.
The fate of the Summer Games has been in the spotlight as the outbreak of COVID-19 forces the cancellation and delays in Japan of everything from football matches to the rituals that mark the opening of the March sumo tournament. This spells bad news for Harambee Stars striker Michael Olunga and his club Kashiwa Reysol, as all club and cup games have been postponed until mid-March, as Japan joined China and South Korea in putting domestic football on hold in a bid to stem the outbreak. In Italy, 5 Serie A games will be played behind closed doors this weekend, including Juventus' match at home to Inter Milan because of the coronavirus. Matches at Udinese, AC Milan, Parma and Sassuolo will take place without fans. Games at Lazio, Napoli, Lecce and Cagliari will go ahead with supporters as normal, but Sampdoria's match on Monday is yet to be decided upon. Italy has put towns in the northern part of the country into lockdown after 229 people tested positive and 7 died. The Chinese Grand Prix, which had been scheduled for the 17th of April, has already been postponed as a result of the coronavirus outbreak, with the Singapore and Hong Kong legs of the World Rugby 7 series postponed to October.
League action, which actually is meant to be for Thursday, but we had one match and Rangers beat Sporting Braga 1-0. And we have some European football as well going on. Champions League in about, 30 minutes time. We have Lyon hosting Juventus and Real Madrid will be home. And they'll be entertaining Manchester City. Of course, we have details and the scores of these matches in our subsequent bulletin. That does it for NTV Sport. Have a lovely night.
NTV Sport in association with MozartBet. SMS NTV to 29990.
Mozart Refund, lose one game, get your cash back. Make a decision. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, thank you for watching NTV tonight and your feedback on the broken system coverage, team coverage, I must add. A big team was, of course, involved in putting this together. And just one tweet on feedback, Suleiman Murunge, you say, this is what journalism should be, highlighting the rot that is our society. This calls on self-reflection by all. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't expect those in power would want to change it. But we can by opening our eyes and using our minds. Thank you for the feedback and team coverage, of course, with the whole team behind it. Will continue. My name is Mark Masai. Good night.
All right, and of course, thanks to the production team behind the scenes too. Thanks to our sign language interpreter, David Agondo. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. We'll be with Ken Majungu tomorrow night. Bye-bye.